What is going on, YouTube? I am Prepper Princess, the author of Living on Almost Nothing. If you are interested in purchasing my book, I will go ahead and leave a link down in the description box below. Although I am dressed up for Halloween, I do not celebrate Halloween, and I will tell you why. So here, you can go ahead and call me bah humbug, but Halloween is not what it used to be. And it was way better growing up as a kid. Okay. For starters, there's two main reasons why I stopped doing Halloween. First of all, it's not like it was in the 80s and 90s where kids would knock on your door to get candy, at least not anywhere that I've been living. What they do is typically they'll do like a downtown thing and they go in the daylight. It's like 2 or 3 in the afternoon, and now they like go home when it gets dark. I don't know if this is because parents became too overprotective and they think that their kids are unsafe trick-or-treating these days, but it really did suck a lot of fun out of the main thing that is Halloween. Like, you want to stay up, you want the kids to be knocking at your door until 10 or 11 p.m. to get their candy. And that just doesn't happen anymore. I haven't had any trick-or-treaters in at least 5 years because they all come during the daytime. Now, I don't even understand the concept of keeping your light on anymore during Halloween if they're coming during the daytime. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense to me anyway. The second reason, and this is the main reason, is because about 5 years ago, back when I was living in my other house in California, I lived in a nice older neighborhood, but buses came in with kids from disadvantaged homes. I don't know how else to put it. So a bunch of kids were literally bussed in, on a bus. They were bussed in and dropped off. And I was on my way to go to a party. And so I left my candy out. And I left it on my favorite. I had this wooden bowl that I kept on my kitchen table for decoration, or, you'd throw your keys in there, or you could use it for food or whatever. So I put all the candy, good candy. I'm talking Almond Joy, Reese's Peanut Butter Cups, the good stuff. I was one of those houses that you wanted to go to, the good stuff. And I put it out on the front porch with a little sign that said, please, one handful each, please. Not one piece of candy, one handful each, please. And I came home, and not only was all the candy gone, there was almost always leftovers, but all the candy was gone, and so was my favorite wooden dish. These little disadvantaged kids came and stole all of my candy and my candy dish. And I thought, and that just ruined it for me. Totally ruined it for me. And you say, a lot of people can say, oh, it was only one time. No. They would do it again. We don't live in it's like we live in a society where stealing is okay. It's considered normal. And I don't want to be a part of that. So I'm not a part of that. Also, it became way too commercialized. And the candy became way too expensive. You can't, if you want, I understand, people have budgets and stuff like that. But as a kid, the worst thing is going to a house that has nothing but sweet tarts. Or not even sweet tarts. They're not even sweet. They're those little, they look like pills. And they come in a roll that's this long. And they're flavorless. They taste like chalk. And people, nowadays, every time you go trick-or-treating, that's all you get. Because chocolate, if you want to get a small bowl of chocolate, it's $25, $30 now. Okay, so you want me to pay $50 to $100 for a costume, and then $30 for chocolate. That's $130 for one night. That's I can think of a lot better things to do with $130. And also with the costumes, so people are not being creative with their costumes anymore. I made up my own costume. I don't even know what I am, but check out my shirt. I am like the money money saving queen, I don't know, of the ice world. I don't really know what I am, but it's really cool because it's stuff that I already had. And people used to create their own costumes and make things up. I've been Rosie the Riveter I don't know how many times. All it took was a red hanky and using my blue coveralls. It was awesome. That was fun. And then people would like take pictures. I'm Rosie the Riveter. You can do it. I was Rosie the Riveter for the longest time, but if I wanted to go out and buy a costume now, I swear I can't get away with anything for less than $50. And then everybody's trying to beat each other with the coolest costume. Like they've got like the unicorn, or you know, they've just got a bunch of really crazy stuff, and I just think that it's gotten a little bit out of hand. You know, it's supposed to be like you make your own. The coolest costume I have ever seen. This girl, she did it right. 11 from Stranger Things. She was season 2 where she was all punked out, and I was like, oh my gosh, I know who you are. I know who you are. And she goes, I'm 11. I was like, okay, I don't know if that's your age or the person, or both, but you did awesome. I gave her a ton of candy. That was a while back. But you don't see kids doing that anymore. Now it's like they just go and they buy a pre-made costume, and there's like no creativity involved whatsoever. Once they bring the creativity back and the kids start trick-or-treating at night again the way it's supposed to be, and chocolate prices get cut in half because it's way too expensive. Or they don't even have to cut the prices of the chocolate in half. Give me half the size of a bag. I'll put in $10. I'll put in $10, but I'm not going to put in $30 for chocolate. You know, $10 is cool. We'll do $10. Let's do that. You know, I used to pay like $3 something. That's what the bags used to cost, like $3 something. Now you're looking at like $15 a bag. But it's crazy. But if you are on a tight budget, maybe I'm like the budget buster. I don't know what I am. If you are on a tight budget on Halloween, it's just like Christmas. You can opt out for a year or two. So at Christmas time, you know, you're getting out of debt, you're really low on funds, and you say, like, you can do a couple things. You can say, hey, I'm really low on funds right now, so Christmas is going to be extremely simple this year. You know, $10, $15 gifts is all I can afford at the moment. Or you could be hitting really hard times and say, hey, look, I'm sorry, but I can't afford Christmas this year. And you can do the same thing with Halloween and not feel guilty about it. It's like $150 for a costume and some candy. So, or you can try and be creative and create yourself. That's the way it should be. That's the way it should be. Create your own with what you've got on hand. But if you can't afford it, don't feel guilty about, you know, not celebrating it. And I don't celebrate it anymore because there's no point. I mean, being at home with the light on and nobody shows up because they already did their trick-or-treating at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So it doesn't really work out for me. Although I would love to dress up Nala because I'm a big nerd. She's so stinking cute. All right, folks. I hope that this video has been helpful and that you have enjoyed a couple of stories. And I know it's not exactly Halloween, but my videos are Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So Monday and Friday for money saving, and usually Wednesdays are the product reviews. So just keep that in mind, you know. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Prepper Princess. Yes. And then if I don't have a product review, it's every Monday and Thursday. So, and I have not missed it. I love when people say, where have you been? I haven't seen you. Thanks for coming back to YouTube. It's like I never left. I've done this for 6 years straight in this particular order. So just so you all know, I am always here. All right, folks. Happy Halloween. Be creative. Don't fall into the hype of the over-consumeristic culture that we have surrounding Halloween. And the more creative you are, the more money you're going to save. Do what you can with what you've got. Prepper Princess out. So where do I get to sleep? Should I take that 6 inches? Or that 8 inches over there? Maybe this corner? This corner looks not too bad if I'm sit in the fetal position, but He's just too cute. Look at that face. Maybe I could go across the top. Ooh. Kitty corner. Found it.